Welcome again to Keep It Local, a program produced by the Greater Beverly Chamber of Commerce and BevCam TV. I'm your co-host, John King, a chamber member and owner of Headway Strategies, helping individuals and organizations make headway towards their goals more consistently.
And I'm Leslie Gould, Executive Director of the Greater Beverly Chamber of Commerce. Our theme this month is giving, and as a result, we've asked our nonprofit chamber members to join us in the studio to share their mission and types of services they provide to our community so you know how to donate back to them.
But first, we'll talk with Kim Paratore, who is the Executive Director of Grateful Friends, which provides support for adult cancer patients.
We'll also learn from Sue Gabriel, the Executive Director of Beverly Bootstraps, about what they provide regarding services, food, clothing, education, and other things for individuals and families.
Following that, we'll talk to Patty Donahue, Program Administrator for Pathways for Children, about the programs that they offer across the North Shore.
And finally, we'll talk with Laura Meisenhelter, Executive Director of the North Shore Community Action Program, which has been in operation for more than 50 years.
And finally, we'll wrap up with a show and a brief update on the chamber from Leslie.
Yeah, because we got some good stuff going on. But first, we're going to flip the bird because they're hosting a Battle of the Birds and donating to local charities with every sandwich sold. I caught up with the owner, Tori Farnsworth, who gives us the details.
Every year we want to do this Battle of the Birds. It gives each store location an opportunity to make something new on their menu because it gets kind of boring doing the same thing every day. I mean, customers love it. They know what they love. They come and get the same thing. They love it. But this kind of makes it something new and exciting for the staff to collaborate on. And this year we thought we'd do one better and donate to 4 local charities supporting our 4 local stores. So we decided to go with Northeast Animal Shelter, My Brother's Table in Lynn, Northeast Animal Shelter is in Salem, and then Danvers Community Council, People to People, and Beverly Bootstraps, of course. So for every sandwich we sell, each store is going to donate $1 per sandwich to, we're going to split it right down 4 ways. So this one is the El Guapo. This one is at the Cumming Center. This is the one that we're in right now. It has hot pepper chutney, pico de gallo, guacamole, taco seasoning on the chicken itself, so it's like kind of spicy, and shredded lettuce and Fritos. This one has been a really big crowd pleaser. Like, people really, really like this one. This one is at the Danvers location. This is called the FTBLT. Bacon, lettuce, tomato, and we added American cheese and Bayou sauce to it. It's a little bit of Flip the Bird flair. This one is the Thai Bird in Swampscott. This one's sweet. This one's really, really good. It has sweet chili pepper sauce on it, candied bacon, chow chow, and coleslaw. And then we have the Dirty Bird. This one is at this one's at our first location, the Cabot Street location. It has a chipotle barbecue sauce on it, garlic aioli, shredded lettuce, and bacon and cheese. It's
oh my God, I don't even know what half of these things are.
Yeah, I know.
This is amazing.
They go kind of foodie on us every year. They like go all out and they make new stuff. They're allowed to bring in one new ingredient and they just make their own sandwich to add to the menu.
Let's do it again. Who creates each individual sandwich?
So each store, it's a collaboration between the staff. So it's an opportunity for them to all get together. The manager ultimately makes the final decision because they need to know that it's going to work for the store and make sure that they can knock them out as fast as we need them to. But the entire staff gets together and they create sandwiches.
Well, the Battle of the Birds has been going on for 2 years. This is the first year Farnsworth says that they're actually donating back to 4 local charities in each of the areas of their businesses. And she estimates that they could raise up to $6,000 to be distributed to each of those charities just based on the numbers from last year.
The first year was really successful, and I know this because Beverly, even as busy as they are, it was Swampscott's first season, and we wanted to really drive people down there to try it and check out the new spot. Swampscott actually beat them in Battle of the Birds sandwich sold, even though Cabot Street had better sales for the month of December. So it made people want to go down and try their new creation, and it drove sales at all the locations, which we then realized is a really good opportunity to donate back to the community. People are going there just to try these things. Every sandwich that they buy, $1 goes towards a local charity.
So how long is the Battle of the Birds going for?
Battle of the Birds is going from December 1st to December 31st. We're doing a contest too for customers. Not only are you donating to a local charity by just buying a sandwich, but if you want to try all 4, you get a little punch card, and each location you go to try it, they'll punch your card. Once you've filled all 4, you can throw it in one of the boxes at one of the locations, and we will draw 3 winners, and they are in line to win a $50 gift card, some swag. Our marketing team is throwing together a bunch of cool stuff for our customers because they rock. So.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
This is such a great, fun way to get out there, support your local business,
Yep.
right? Support a local business and support a local charity as well.
Especially this time of year.
We're back. I'm here with Kim Paratore, who is the Executive Director of Grateful Friends, and they work with adult cancer patients.
That's right.
And what I'd like to do is have you share a little bit about what the organization is and how it got started, if you could.
Sure. Well, Grateful Friends is based on the North Shore. We service Essex and Middlesex County, and we help adult cancer patients who are going through treatment with financial assistance, as well as providing comfort baskets. If they are having surgery or radiation or chemotherapy, it will be very specific basket items for that diagnosis.
So how do you work with service providers or medical facilities in terms of getting somebody who needs some help with that? How do you make those kinds of arrangements?
Sure. Well, my relationship is directly working with the oncology social workers at the area hospital. So we work with all the Leahy hospitals, as well as North Shore Cancer Center, the Mass General Hospital in Danvers.
Okay. Well, I can relate to what you're doing very well because my wife went through colon cancer in 04. And, was when you go through that, you have no idea what this means, right? You have no idea, and you don't know what the long-term effects are. You don't know what you have to do today.
Right.
And we were fortunate because we had a breast cancer survivor across the street who was a nurse, and so she kind of took us under the wing. And then my son was working for the fire department in town, and next thing we knew, we had more food than we knew what to do with.
Right.
And so we had a real outpouring of support from the community and other people that helped us get through it. And I can well see why your services are definitely needed.
Absolutely. And I actually have a very personal connection as well. My husband was diagnosed in 2012 with esophageal cancer, and he actually passed away 10 weeks later. But during that time, we had wonderful health insurance. He was employed, and we had his health insurance through his employer. But there are expenses that go way beyond what your co-pays will pay for and what your deductibles can be in the tens of thousands. And for a lot of people, like you talked about your experience, they don't have that support system. So they often find themselves, after a couple of months of treatment, too ill to work. Now they cannot pay their electric bill, and that's where Grateful Friends comes in.
And I think that was one of the things is the counseling, if you would, as you go through this, because the first visit we had, they told my wife that she couldn't work.
Right.
And that was devastating.
Yeah.
And she worked all the way through it, all through chemo and everything. And I think that part of that is understanding what the needs are of that individual,
right,
and being able to counsel them into what really they should do versus what maybe someone thinks they ought to do. Because personalities are different and needs are different as it goes on.
Yep. So we get the social worker who has that connection with the patient to let them know about Grateful Friends, and they'll suggest to them to fill out an application for assistance or to be given a comfort basket. So because they know the patient, they are meeting with the patient every time they come in for treatment, and they know what their home life is and what their financial situation is.
So how do you get funding?
The hard way.
The hard way,
yes.
Huh?
We get funding mostly, as a lot of small nonprofits, through in-person events, right? Galas and cocktail parties where people raise their hand or they buy a ticket. Unfortunately, due to COVID, we had to cancel those events. So we have relied on individual donors, some corporate sponsorships, monthly corporate sponsorships, and we also do a lot of grant writing, and small family foundations will give us funding.
Okay, and you've got a pretty good board, and half the Beverly Chambers on it, as I saw.
Yes,
I mean,
that's
there's
right.
some people I know that are on there that if you did that. So What about volunteers? Now, you get volunteers to help you, and I saw a questionnaire
That's right, on our website.
on your website,
yes.
and I would encourage people that you will see the website up here a little bit later at the end of the show here. But I'd encourage you to get on it, look and see what you can do.
Absolutely.
It's a wide range
Right.
of skills that you're looking for.
Yes, and it's very rewarding. Our basket program, we have this incredible group of women that come in after paddleball and pickleball. And
Pickleball.
They come in and they make the baskets and they read the applications and they deliver them to the hospitals or to the patient's home. It's a very rewarding situation.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is. So what are the needs that you have for 2022? And I know you just said you need money.
Exactly.
I got that.
If I could
got
ask
that.
Santa, it would be unrestricted, the nonprofit's dream, unrestricted funds. We are in 2021, by the end of the year, we will have funded about $50,000 in those financial grants that I spoke of. We'd like to double that next year. The need is there. A lot of people concentrated on things during the COVID, the epidemic, but cancer didn't go away.
No.
So our patients had COVID-related job loss and issues, but they also had cancer, didn't take a back seat. So we really there's a tremendous need, even more so due to COVID, for the financial rewards.
How many people did you think you serviced in the last year?
Oh, hundreds.
Hundreds.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
That's very broad.
Yes,
then. Very broad.
and that's in Essex and Middlesex County only.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they're your neighbors and they're members of the chamber and they're people that you see on Main Street that are living just close enough to the edge that not working for a couple of weeks can really set them back.
Yeah, understand. Well, we're about at the end of our time. I just wanted to see, is there anything else that you think you wanted to bring forth to our audience here?
Sure, you could mark the date June 9th, 2022, because we are going to have an in-person event.
Okay, and where is that going to be?
It's going to be at the Connemara House, which is an apple farm, the old Kane Estate in Topsfield. So it'll be outside under a tent, rain or shine, and hopefully we will raise some good funds to help our patients through the summer.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for
you very
stopping
much.
by today, and
Very
we'll
much.
look forward to your event in June.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
you.
Welcome back, everyone. I am talking with Sue Gabriel. She's the executive director of Beverly Bootstraps. Sue, thank you so much for coming in
Well, thank you for having me.
and being part of our giving show. I love it.
Well, we love it when people give.
That's right. Beverly Bootstraps does so much for the community. I mean, it is undeniable. Talk to us about the need. Where is the greatest need?
Undoubtedly, people are struggling the most with housing right now. It's it's really actually scary out there. I think regionally there's a lack of housing, and then people are finding that the cost of housing just continues to increase on them. If you're on a fixed income and your rent keeps going up and up and up, that's really difficult. Or if you were unemployed for a while during COVID and your rent is now being raised, that is really, really difficult. So I would say that's probably the number one reason that people come in and talk to our case managers. And it's also then creating a budget shortfall for them. So it's also driving people in for food assistance and other services that we provide.
So talk to us about the housing for a second, just so I can understand,
Sure.
right? How are you helping them attain their housing needs?
Yeah, so sadly, we can't always help. But if somebody comes in and they're about to be evicted, for instance, and there's really no issue except that right now they're in an economic hardship, but probably that boat's going to get righted at some point, we can help financially to keep them in their homes. And that's hugely important, especially with the pandemic still going on. And, any of that instability for a family is just huge. So if we can keep them housed, that's what we want to do.
And the majority of the time, I'm assuming you're helping them stay housed even for a temporary period of time, either a few months, maybe 6 months, until they can get their feet on the ground?
So our model used to be that we would do 1 month rent, but we're really looking at that again because it's really not enough right now. But we can work with other social service folks in the region, and I think you have actually NASCAP coming up, and we can work together and try to figure out, is there a way that we can actually figure out more support for a longer period of time. We're also going to look at the model that we've been using because we don't think 1 month is enough anymore.
I love the fact that you're collaborating with other nonprofits on the North Shore. That's so
Always.
critical, right? Because you can't do it by
Always.
yourself.
Always.
So then there's the need of food and clothing. Talk to us about some of the other services you provide for individuals and families.
Sure. Well, I mean, most people know us about because of food assistance. That seems to be what we're most known for, and we certainly do a lot of that. We moved over 500,000 pounds of food last year, and we're moving an awful lot again this year. But we also really believe that we'd like to get somebody out of that economic hardship if possible, and that's why we have case managers. It's why we do our education programs. And we also do a lot of seasonal things. We are trying to provide gifts for 722 children this season, so we're working really hard over there to get all the gifts in, get them all back out. But we do some supplies for them right before they go to school, and we're gearing up for our free tax preparation program as well, because we can get a lot of money back into the community that way, and for our clients, over $600,000 last year.
Wow. You just said that you are helping to service 750 kids. How many clients realistically throughout the year do you think you service?
Every year it's around 4,000, up or down depending on the year. Obviously during the pandemic it was a little different, but it's always around 4,000. Yeah.
What does the face of your client look like?
Ooh, it depends on the day you come and see us. There is no typical. We serve birth to death, absolutely. It can be a senior who comes in on a fixed income. It can be a family that's had an employment issue. It can be children who need school supplies. So anything.
How is your organization perhaps misunderstood?
I think what people many times don't realize is the breadth of what we do. We do a lot for a lot of people. Also, just recently, we've expanded into other communities. So we're no longer just a Beverly organization. We've been serving Manchester since 2008, and we've just added Essex, Hamilton, and Wenham. So we're a little more regional than we used to be.
Okay, so that's really surprising, because I think the majority of people out there would say, Wenham, Manchester. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. It doesn't matter where you live. There will always be people in your community who are in need of help. Always. Always. An economic insecurity does not pick and choose. I'll remember so vividly during the recession, we had someone come in a beautiful fur coat and a very expensive car, because in that moment, there was not enough liquidity in her family that they could have food on the table. So it can hit anyone. It doesn't matter who you are. You could have a moment where you really need an organization like Beverly Bootstraps.
So this program is geared towards giving. We want the community to know how to give. What are the best ways that we can give to help support Beverly Bootstraps or Bootstraps?
Always, always, always. Money is the first thing that I would ask for, because we can turn that into anything that anyone needs. We can either help with somebody's rent, we can turn it into food assistance programs, we can make sure we have the right equipment for our tax prep programs. So we just can make that do magic. So that would be the first thing I ask for. But if that's not something that somebody can do, there are so many other ways. I would direct you right to our website. But certainly, a food donation, clothing or goods to our thrift shop helps. And there are other ways that you can volunteer, and we are always looking for great people to volunteer.
Awesome. I am so grateful that you came in to talk to us about this. I certainly learned something in the last 5 or 6 minutes, so thank you so much. And we hope that everyone certainly considers giving to both Bootstraps or any of the other nonprofits that we have here in the studio today. So I'm going to throw it back to John.
Well, we're back. We have another nonprofit here we want to talk to today, and that's represented by Patty Donahue. And Patty is with the Program Administrator for Pathways for Children.
Hi.
Here in Beverly. Thank you very much for coming in today.
Very excited to talk to you about my program.
And sharing us about it. So when I put this together, I put some notes together for myself, and I indicated that the business had been around for 57 years. And Leslie corrected me and said, the way you've written that, John, you've indicated that Patty's been around for 57 years. And I want to apologize to you in advance. I didn't mean that as that. But being an organization that's been around for 57 years, you certainly have some history of what you've done for the community.
Right, over the many years that we have been able to service children right here in Beverly and in the greater community. Our location at Cabot Street has over 50 years been in that building and in surrounding buildings in the neighborhood, and we've been able to service many children. Predominantly, all of our children are low income, below the federal poverty guideline.
Okay.
So that is really the poorest of the poor.
Yeah.
In order to be eligible for our programs, federal poverty guideline is about less than $17,000.
Right, for a family
of two. So
right.
we're talking about the neediest.
Yes. Now, I saw that you, on your website, you indicated that the website indicated there were 2,500 families or individuals that were supported in the course of a year.
77,000 of them being poverty,
Okay.
high poverty.
Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about the programs. I mean, when I looked at the map that you had up there, you've got mostly Essex County. Do you go outside of Essex County?
No, we've got Beverly, we've got location sites in Salem, Beverly, and Gloucester.
In Gloucester, I saw that, yeah.
Yep, and then our service area, just like our guest before talked about, we've serviced Manchester, Wenham, Hamilton. We go up to Ipswich, we go to Danvers. We have a lot of families here in Beverly that are Danvers, Peabody, that are also
And
at
I
our
saw
school.
you were up in Boxford and Topsfield
Oxford
as well.
and Topsfield, yes.
As well. So there's this need up there. And you have a Head Start program.
Right. I predominantly work with the Head Start program.
Okay.
So here in Beverly, we have about 100 children that are serviced in our Head Start classrooms, and we have 5 rooms there. We also do some what we call nurturing programs there. So that's a family program for all ages of children after school, with helping parents learn great parenting skills. So it's a program
Okay.
that we do in English and Spanish.
Now, when you do Head Start, is that in a public school or is that in your facility?
Right in our facility
your
here
facility.
in Beverly.
And what age group does that cover?
2.9 to age 5.
2.9.
Some of our other locations have after-school programming and early Head Start, which is infants and toddlers.
Okay.
in
So
that family.
so where do you get your funding? Because you've got a pretty big budget.
We do, but never enough.
Okay.
We get federal funding for our Head Start program, and
Okay.
a lot of our additional funding comes from donations, galas, outreach that we do, and everything from like a fundraiser where we're doing a toy drive, we do diaper drives, we do all those kinds of things.
Okay. And where do you get volunteers from? Because I know you on your website you talk about volunteers.
We do. We have some great volunteers in all of our different communities that come from colleges. We've got some great relationships with colleges and high schools that do things with our children. We have one coming up at the Cabot Theater in a few weeks. We have sometimes neighborhood people will get together and we have a big literacy program, and they have worked for years with us to collect books, buy new books for all of our children, and get those out to our families. We have some people really on the edge right now, so any sort of, we're helping with gas cards and anything like that helps parents.
Okay.
So,
All right. What would you need for 2022? What would be the thing that you would like to see, working your way to help your organization?
I think clothing,
Clothing?
diapers, it's really basic.
So it's
gas
it's,
and food cards. I
it's
mean,
clothing,
that sort of thing.
right, okay.
Like basic, simple
Okay.
things.
And that's in your collection boxes?
Or actually, it's working through our social workers and with our development office
Okay.
that can help coordinate
All right.
that. Well, I did want to tell everyone about the Dolly Parton Library.
Have
you heard about that?
I've heard about it from my brother. He sent me a note. You need to get on the Dolly Parton Library. So,
Right.
okay, I don't
so
know.
it's something that Pathways is coordinating with our area.
Yep.
So people can join the Dolly Parton Library, which is a national program. You don't have to meet any income eligibility guidelines, and Dolly Parton's library will send books to your family every month for your children, any children under the age of 5.
I want to thank you very much for coming in today and sharing with us your program and what you guys are doing very successfully for over 50 plus years.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
At this time, I want to welcome to the studio Laura Meisenhelter. She is the Executive Director of North Shore Community Action Programs. I am so grateful that you are here today. I want everyone to know what you do. I think you offer so much to so many in need. You also cover a great region, correct?
Yes.
And I want to hear all about it so that our viewers can give to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
North Shore Community Action Programs, or NASCAP as we're fondly known as, serves Beverly, but we also serve Peabody, Danvers, and Salem, and then also, depending on our funding, Topsfield, Middleton, and even further surrounding communities. We have many different programs. We do shelter for families. We provide a housing first model for homeless individuals. We take care of elderly people. Most people know us for fuel assistance and energy conservation programs where we weatherize people's homes. And we have an adult education program that's just growing like crazy.
How many clients do you service throughout the North Shore?
Between 9,000 and 10,000 people a year.
It's incredible. Do you find that it stays the same? Do you find that it grows or that it dips?
It mostly stays the same, surprisingly.
What is the program what's the go-to program that your clients are taking advantage of?
Fuel assistance. Yes, absolutely, fuel assistance. More than a third of our clients start there and then go from there.
And the cost of fuel is rising.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That's going to be such a
Yes.
problem this winter. I'm sure you're getting phone calls
Yep.
or do people walk in? How is it working? How do people get in touch with you?
We send out renewal applications for people who have been on the program every year. New people who are interested should call our office or go to our website for information, and we'll do an intake over the phone and then send out a list of materials that they need to send in. It does require paperwork, but it is well worth it. Last year, the highest benefit level was over $1,000, and with the American Recovery Plan, we got that same benefit again to distribute. So people got double the benefit last year, which was $2,000 or more for some people.
How can people donate to you? What's the best way, and what do you need the most?
Oh my gosh. Well, Sue already said the biggest need is housing, and nobody's going to snap their fingers and produce more housing. But people can help NASCAP. We're seeing more and more people need help with food. We're not doing a food pantry. That's not what we do, but we've been supplementing with gift cards to Market Basket, gift cards to Target. People don't have food stamps doesn't pay for cleaning supplies. People need to be able to keep their house clean and sanitized. Those are a big, big benefit. And of course, any nonprofit needs money and unrestricted money. And we have been using our unrestricted money in ways I've never used before.
Thank you so much, Laura, for coming in.
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
All right, John and I will be right back right after this.
So with that, I think we can say thank you very much for watching. We appreciate your subscribership to BevCam, if you would. It doesn't cost anything, so it's not like Netflix. You get it for free with your cable membership, and so we look forward to seeing you the next time.
And don't forget to keep it local. For Keep It Local, I'm Leslie Gould.
This is John King, and we're signing off for today.
Have a great holiday. Well, this is the second year that the Battle of the Burgers. Burgers? Blasphemy. Well, this is the second year that the is it Battle of the Birds? Battle of the Birds. Okay. Bye.
Well, let's start off with a little bit of a blooper here, because I think one of the things that I wanted to talk to Leslie about, and she's not paying attention to me on it, is we need to have a theme song.
A theme song.
A theme song.
Okay.
At least
Like
when
the Flintstones?
No. When we close the thing, I think we need to go back to something from my childhood.
Okay.
Happy trails to you until we meet again. How about that? What do you think?
I think that sounds good.
First, we'll talk with Kim Paratore, who is the executive director of Grateful Friends.
Kim Paratore.
What did I say?
Paratore.
First, we'll talk with Kim Paratore. Para, like parachute. Okay. Paratore.
And